Okay, here we go. We have another sparring breakdown video. We have Traphena in the gray spats versus Gillian, the kind of like more purplish colored spats. Gillian's spinning behind right now, looking to take the back. Traphena is still pretty new to Jiu-Jitsu. She's been training for about a month, and Gillian's been training for a few years. It's always good. This is the first time Traphena is really training with a girl with a handful of experience, so it's going to be a good experience from her. Typically, as it goes, when you roll with someone with a big experience gap, you're going to get tapped a lot. So, good example for her to good experience for her to kind of learn to be the nail on the mat. Sometimes, we use the expression a lot in jiu-jitsu. Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail, and this is going to be one of those days for her. So we see Gillian coming in, finishing with the rear naked choke. We're going to kind of go through most of this video, and then I'm going to go back and kind of break down some things that both these athletes could be doing differently. So we'll just kind of look for some major themes and stuff. I haven't watched this video yet. We're seeing Traphena doing a good job fighting for hands off the start, looking for that head outside single. And we see Gillian hit a switch for a head inside single. So you get good head positioning here. She drives through and finishes the single, starts moving into side control. Traphena with good hand positioning, blocking, doing a good job getting on her side. And as a beginner, Traphena's doing a very good job, There's like some really sound fundamentals coming into play already as she gets mounted. We see her looking to control an arm, but loses the post, but still manages to reverse. So, for a beginner, this is kind of a win. If you manage to reverse yourself out of the mount against someone with more experience, that could be like the victory of the roll, We see Gillian looking on a triangle now. Traphena doing a good job posturing up. Trying to cut the angle here. But looks like Gillian's going to have the upper hand as she switches to a triangle armbar. And you just see like a nice pace from both of these girls going back and forth with each other. Like no one's really although Gillian's looking to finish and take advantage of Traphena's mistakes, we see them, being cooperative with each other, having good back and forth action. And that's the sort of sparring partners you want so you can grow and get better. Getting good hand fighting for both these guys at the start. You see Traphena still looking on the single. Gillian doing a good job with her head positioning. She picks up another single leg. Starts running the pipe here. And manages to get her takedown. And again, in the beginning, it's hard if you don't have too much technical skills. You just got to kind of rely on the few moves you know. For the people with more time on the mat, it becomes a bit more predictable. We're seeing Gillian again move to the back here. She's got a top hook in. Already starting to work for a choke. Traphena's got one hand in defending, but it's not going to be enough. And we see Gillian get the tap. One thing that's kind of poking out for me right away is just some back defense for Gillian, for Traphena, making sure her hands are in the right place. We'll go back through kind of after. That seems like this is going to be the theme a little bit on Traphena's side, making sure her hands are defending when she gets her back taken so she can defend the choke better. Again, good single leg attempts though, just needs to get lower and get on the hips. See Gillian hit a nice guillotine. Didn't quite have the camera angle to get too much out of that, but just classic snap down into guillotine, something we've been working on a lot lately. Gillian's got an MMA fight coming up, so we're trying to get her ready. So a lot of technical moves like guillotines are something we're always looking for when people shoot. Again, good hand fighting from both these girls. See a nice duck under into a single. See Gillian hit her takedown again, pinning in half this time, and quickly passing into side control. We see Gillian now moving to knee on belly. Traphena trying to bridge, but this time she didn't have a post, so not as easy for her to roll Gillian over this time. But a nice bridge from Traphena this time, managed to get on top. So for someone in their first month of training, two solid mount escapes is definitely a win. Again, we're seeing Gillian looking to control the posture here. Traphena getting good hand positioning, starting to look to open the guard and pass. Gillian with a really nice half guard sweep, coming out the back door, moving into side control. One of the things Gillian's doing really good just is keeping her flat and side control, making it much harder for Traphena to get her guard back. Got about a minute left. We might see a couple more submissions. We'll see what happens. Then we'll go back through and break some of this down. Really nice half guard pass from Gillian. She moves into side control, switching to a Kimura. It looks like she's going to get enough torque on this to finish. Yeah, doing a good job exposing the back, forcing that hand behind. See a nice Kimura finish. So again, a nice roll from both these girls. Something that I like to see in beginners is that like willingness to continue as well. You know, like you see, even though Traphena's getting tapped quite a bit in this roll, she's doing a great job. Ooh, nice mat return attempt here. Great job trying some of the moves of the day. But yeah, like even though she's getting tapped quite a bit, you're seeing her still in the fight, still making an effort, not giving up. Those are all skills I kind of look for in my athletes. Nice sprawl. But Gillian manages to tap that ankle and start moving into top position. Running out of space here, so they'll move back to center. That must have been time. All right, so nice roll from both these girls. Let's go back. I want to break down a little bit of like why these chokes keep happening and stuff for Traphena. So we can probably go back even a little bit earlier. Oh yeah, so we'll go back to the start. So turtle position. Especially if someone's putting their hooks on already, hand positioning is really important here. You see one of the things Traphena is doing. I'm going to move this so you guys can see a little bit better. Get my tool out. You see this a lot from beginners, is this pulling on the outside of the arm, of the choking hand. So essentially Gillian's using this hand underneath. This is going to be the hand she's using for the rear naked choke. And you see Traphena pulling down on this arm. Now what Traphena actually wants to do is put a hand inside, not on the outside. Outside pulling on the arm is going to be really difficult to stop this choke. She ideally would want this other hand in underneath and in between the choking arm and her neck. She wants this arm inside, framing here. And that's going to make it much harder for Gillian to get the choke on that side. Solid wrist control is important too. She's a little bit high, so she's on the forearm. Other things she could be doing is just really focusing on controlling that wrist. And these are things that are just going to help make it a little bit more difficult for Gillian to get her choke. And again, like as a new student, these aren't really skills we've worked on with her yet. And you see just like hands on the mat a lot, circling, trying to get back up, which isn't the worst thing, but it's leaving her neck unprotected. And you see that's why this RNC is going to come in so tight. And again, that grip on the outside instead of the inside is what's going to allow this choke still to happen. So ideally, Traphena, if you're watching, you want to keep this hand in between you and your partner. It makes it much harder for them to finish the choke. And this will just be a good example here. What happens when we have that grip in the wrong place. It's still easy to get that finish. And that's part of the reason she's forced to tap here at the end. So there's a good example, even though the hand's on the outside. Not able to quite get what she wanted. So again, like, so if you guys are watching, just remember when you guys are fighting hands, try to keep one hand on your face between you and your partner, and that'll help defend from the rear naked choke coming in. So anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. It was a quick breakdown, just a quick little insight on what you can do when someone attacks from the back. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel.